Okay, welcome. We are here in Siralim Ultimate. This is Realm Depth. Let's see. I don't know. I changed my map toggle at one point, and I haven't been able to go back. But I believe it's 215, difficulty 9, just a regular, no instability. This is Tellur. He has a very tanky trait. His trait is that he can only take like a maximum of maybe 15 or 5% of his HP as damage one time. Yeah, 5%. His other creatures only take 15%. It's not going to be relevant until the end of the fight when we're doing more damage, but of course, it will make it take a little while longer. I should kill the boss of Cherub just so they don't revive with 50% HP and like a large barrier. I know that trait as I utilize it on my own team. So yeah, this is not on stream. This is off camera during the week. I want to get these bosses done so we can unlock Gate of the Gods. It'd be great if I could unlock Gate of the Gods by the weekend. The screen region is a little messed up on this video. I apologize. I'll try and fix it for next time. This is like a very early morning for me. I haven't even had breakfast. Looks like we're doing some damage. I also, in relation to the build, there's I reacquainted myself with like all the perks that the Necromancer has. I forgot that we have the Death minion, which attacks every turn, and every time Death attacks, it has a small chance to one-shot the enemies. It has a higher chance based on their missing health, but I don't think it's usually that relevant, but it's a nice little value add, you know, just once in a while you'll get a free kill. I am also, if you haven't been following the stream, I have been, these videos are going to start coming out slower, as I'm going to be returning, sorry about the cursor by the way, I'm going to be returning to school for the spring semester this next coming week, so I will be streaming less, I will be playing video games less. I still hope to do my Sunday streams, but no more than that. I've been farming this realm a bit, the Land of Breath and Balance, just because we need all the 8 Phoenix cards, and Phoenixes are pretty common in this zone. They spawn in the Barrens and also this zone. I think it's very helpful to look up what all the different card sets are and like where you can find these monsters. The list that I use is a little outdated, but it's fine. It's mostly correct. If you Google Siralim cards list, you should be able to find it. I don't know if it's really that viable to go for farming a specific card set just as the drop chance is so low. I've got a good amount of cards, just they're all spread out over a bunch of different monsters. I feel bad when I start these videos just early in the morning, because the start of the video is always very low energy. Yeah, this guy was a defensive trait, so really not a problem. I don't think we'll be doing instability anymore, just because it does provide extra challenge, but difficulty 9 already makes the enemies so tanky, and you get all these modifiers that are like, oh, enemies take 70% less damage, or they have 70% more defense, you know? Like, I feel like if it was just the extra traits, I could be interested. So maybe if I don't know what level instability gives extra traits, maybe we could experiment with that and see, you know, maybe just instability 1, just to say that we are not just letting it roll. But the other thing is that higher instabilities, you lose, like, the personality of the Nether Boss. Because right now, the Nether Boss's trait is only maybe 1 or 2 traits out of all 6. But once you add instability and extra perks, the Nether Boss's trait becomes 1 or 2 out of 12 traits. So it becomes much less about the Nether Boss and much more about what the random RNG has given you. Which could be fine. I might try it out. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. As I said, I'm running out of time to, like, free time, so it's not all that appealing to have to run into, you know, 15-minute battles every 5 rounds. I still am going to do the difficulty 9 at the very least. If I'm gonna have these videos up on YouTube, it should be, you know, a fair representation of what the boss can do. I did say we were going to go, when we get to the tier 3 versions of each Nether boss, it'd be nice to, you know, see what they can do on difficulty 9 there. But if the boss's trait is, like, to make them more tanky and it's not, like, a dangerous trait, I don't think I would, you know, try to do that. I'd probably save the content for the tough bosses and favor maybe progression for once. So anyway, that was Nether Boss 30. Thank you. I will see you at the next Nether Boss. See ya. Okay, welcome back to Nether Boss 31. From depth 215, this is Noetherian, the Breeding Master. Okay. This guy, I looked at his abilities. This is still difficulty 9. I did turn on stat gain just for fun, and I also turned on damage numbers just for fun. We won't be doing that probably often, just because you can see how long it makes the fights. I just thought it would be fun to see at least once. This guy actually might wipe us, by the way, because his ability, if we ever get to my turn, is to create a barrier at the end of each turn. And at the start of each turn, he blows the barrier up, dealing AoE damage to all my teammates. I tried to look up what it grants a barrier to only 3 of them. Okay, that's not as bad. What am I saying? And then I tried to look up the modifier for what determines how much barrier a unit gets. It was very vague, so I didn't really get anything out of it. But it did say the maximum was 200% of its highest stat is what the barrier can be. which is bad because usually when we're on difficulty 9, the stats are about in the millions. And their HP is already in the millions. So we've got a lot to worry about because our units do not have a single million of HP. It's quite possible that if 3 barriers explode, three of our units will go down each time Noetherian takes a turn. Could be dangerous, but we will see. I think the 2 units that died were Crusaders. And they could have died to Blighted. They could have tried to heal and accidentally off themselves. But, probably shouldn't use such vulgar terminology. But we just did a ton of damage to the boss. Yeah, I don't know why we did so much damage. He does have this barrier now, but no problem. Macro on our life unit. They're all life units at the moment. I think it's the spell that is cast that changes our creatures' classes is I think it's called Evolution, or maybe it's the Sprite Changer's Evolution. It is nice to see all those stat gain numbers and those damage numbers. We are fighting them in the Forgotten Lab. I don't recall if we've been here yet. I'm sure we have. There's only so many realms and there's so many Nether Bosses. It looked like he was taking damage. It looked like he took like 1.6 million from bleed or something like that. But we got him. That was a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. I thought we were going to lose so many more units. No problem then. Another reason I don't want to do realm instability is because, like, I want to make progress. But if I turn on realm instability, I still have to get to the boss. So, not including the boss fight, I could be in the realm for like 15 minutes alone and then 15 minutes in the boss fight. So, 30 minutes every 5 realms. It's just not sustainable, you know? I'm glad I could at least get them down on difficulty 9. That's a huge landmark for this build. Speaking of builds, on stream I did a little like improv Hell Knight build. I haven't built it, like I haven't gone through and farmed all the emblems that you need for the god spawns and all the S ranks you need for the assassinations, but I kind of just workshopped it a little bit, got all the synergistic traits that would go there. Then I took it into the Discord and see what they thought about it, and this one, I don't recall their name, but one of the players in the Discord sent over this insane Hell Knight build. I can link it in the description, actually. I don't know if they'd mind, but basically, well, it's basically because Hell Knight crits 100% of the time, a Jinn would cast an AoE spell, critting 6 times, and then you'd have 2 Asuras, which attack every time somebody crits, so they'd attack 6 times each, and then once for each other. and at the start of battle you would do 14 attacks and hopefully defeat the enemies before they even took a turn. That was that with the Hell Knight. That's what I unlocked the specialization for. I saw somebody else streaming the game, and I saw every time they entered battle, they just, you know, one-shot the whole enemy team, and I was like, I gotta try that. It's a stark difference from this build, which has to ramp up before it is able to do any damage. I don't know how viable it would be on difficulty 9, of course. But I think the two builds would have different use cases. One for maybe speedy progression, speedy farming, even on instability 5, but definitely not on difficulty 9. Necromancer is great for difficulty 9. It just has so much built-in survivability and utility. The other class I was interested in was the astrologer. The astrologer is kind of similar to the necromancer, where you just auto battle the whole time. The difference is with astrologer, you've got like requirements to meet for your perks to activate. Like say you need 3 buffs, then you get an extra bonus. Or if your units have 3 debuffs, then you get an extra bonus. Stuff like that. I think after we do the Gate of the Gods, I'd be pretty excited to, you know, experiment with building. Maybe build that Hell Knight team so I can get all the way to realm depth 415 in a speedy amount of time. At 415, you unlock... It's the anointments. What is it called again? I don't quite remember, but you can challenge... Oh, it's the False Gods. So 240, Gate of the Gods, 415, False Gods. I'm doing like 100,000 damage per hit. That was 1.2 million just now. Okay, that was fun having the battle text on for that. Anyway, I will see you in the next Nether Boss, okay? Have a good one. Okay, welcome everybody. This is Nether Boss, it should be 32, right? We're here at Nether, realm depth. Can't see the map in the boss room, but realm depth 220, 225, Ramses. This is who we're fighting. Okay, let's see what they've got. We're on difficulty 9, but also instability 1. Instability 1 is enough to give every enemy a second trait. So they're all fused. So there's 12 traits we're going up against. This is also the first fight on the new patch. Let's see what this guy does. Enemies always have cursed at the start of each enemy's turn. They attack this creature. Cursed. I don't remember what cursed does. After this creature takes damage, it heals. Okay, well, if we can blight him, we can do a lot of damage that way. 15% of his HP every time he attempts to heal. Exactly. Why aren't these, only some of the enemies are fused? It looks like. Like I see two fusions. I didn't realize that's how instability worked. I thought it was every enemy got fused. Who's this? Our Asan? We shall attack. This is the new patch. So what is different is you'll notice my Reclusive White now has the ability to gain HP. I actually don't know how he's gaining HP, if he is the unit that is delving out the HP, but I'm not opposed to it. As long as we have that unit provoking, it should still function similarly to how it did before. I guess we're all being forced to provoke anyway. I also saw that there was another change. Our Manticore Decimator with the Beast Within trait. Apparently, when you gain attack based off other stat gain, it was supposed to be counting HP as part of that. So technically, if I was understanding that right, we should be gaining like a lot more attack every time we gain HP now. It might not work that way because we do gain HP and gain attack at the same time, at the very same moment that they get at the very same moment. We just killed the boss. I feel bad that we didn't turn the instability up higher, honestly. I thought he was going to be tougher though, but it wasn't that bad. I really didn't expect him to go down that fast. So this would be 32 if I remember right. So we've only got 3 more Nether Bosses. Yeah, 230, 235, and 240. And then we will unlock the Gate of the Gods, and that should be up, available for our stream on Sunday. So if you want to catch that, I hope you drop by. I will be obviously uploading the fights to YouTube, but if, you know, my content is something that appeals to you, I'd love to see you there. And yeah, we did fight Ramses in the desert because I knew I usually try to go by their name to see where we should go. Easy fight though. I was a little worried that the reclusive white wasn't going to be dying enough times because he has so much, like, basically 15,000 times more HP than he used to. Didn't seem that bad though. I don't know why he hasn't provoked since then. Maybe he can't? We'll check right now. We'll check right now. He is provoking. I think... I'm not... I've never really... That's probably the first time I've ever manually provoked in this game. So I don't know the exact mechanics behind it. But it looks like he's still provoked. I believe he would lose the provoke once he dies and resurrects. I wasn't paying that close attention, but it does seem like we one-shot the boss somehow. Either there are 2 ways I know we can one-shot enemies is by our death minion, just random chance, and then also by blighted. So it's possible he just blighted himself down. I couldn't see his HP bar, of course, so it's a very good possibility. I don't know if I just have like the best luck with applying debuffs, because like when we fought Imp Impington and he had all those healing traits on him, like we actually won that fight because we were on instability 5. But when we applied debuffs, it always seems to be the most beneficial. Like when we fought Phobos, all the Phobos got confused. It's possible that there was a realm buff. It is possible. But when we fought Imp Impington and we applied all that blighted, I really want to get this plate. I forget, it's like the 5740 NG relic. I put it on my Darkstalker because he has the trait which allows him to gain the stats. This is Darkstalker's trait, to gain 50% of the stats of all the dead allies. And all my units scale up in stats throughout the fight. So if one unit can take 50% of all their buffed stats, he's going to be very powerful, nigh unkillable. But I do need for the plate to actually do some serious, like, endurance, like, I don't know what the word is, I'm sorry, I'm blanking. Just for the Darkstalker to be as tanky as possible, we need to put the piety level to 100, the relic to 100. At 100, that relic, it's very good. It starts out at 100% dodge chance, and every time you dodge, it goes down by 10%. But it's very useful. It'll keep you alive for a while. Definitely longer than any of my other units. And he is a life unit, so he has all the resurrection spells. Even if he's the last one standing, he will be very good. I put some, I'm just making some normal progression through this game. You know, scrolling, training my units using the scrolls. I have not optimized my nether stones yet. I was waiting until I got like a bigger selection of them. The next thing, I haven't looked at any of the gods, so I don't know if any of their traits would be useful. Because I feel like we're strong now, but if these were like the tier 3 versions of these nether bosses, we might be struggling a little bit. I'm gonna look at my reclusive white, because I don't know why he would be gaining stats. He's got very good stats, by the way. Does Bravely Inspired distribute these stats to himself? Because Hearty Appetite is a gain. You gain HP on stat gain, and then Peace Within is you gain attack on stat gain. The Terror White buffs himself. Darkstalker buffs himself. The only thing is the extra Apocalypse ability, which buffs it by 15, buffs their stats by 15% each turn that they take. But even then, I don't think that the stats would be equal. You know what I mean? It might be some sort of interaction that I'm not aware of, or maybe it's a bug. But for now, it's a bug that seems to be useful. Okay, that was Nether Boss, I believe, 32. I will see you in the next one. I'm going to try to get these done before the weekend, these Nether Bosses, okay? So have a good one. Okay, welcome back. This is a start of a new day for me, but this should be Nether Boss 33, I believe. This is Kraynaks. Let's see what they've got for us. I do remember this right, vaguely. So maybe we fought this guy before. But after this creature is killed, it transforms into one of my creatures. Okay, and he also has a fuse trait because we're on instability 1, difficulty 9 still. This creature's attacks always deal critical damage and also has a 30% chance to dodge attacks. Okay. Well, we're starting off pretty well. We've got a huge amount of HP. And so, who is this? This is our Terror White. Our Reclusive White should be provoking. Let's, yeah, we'll target the boss last, just to minimize the random chance of something bad happening. I don't know. I think the Sanctus might have a stat debuffing ability, but there's nothing very too dangerous about this fight at a glance. We are being forced to debuff, which comes with a small percentage of defense removal, I believe, is what Provoke does. It is quite alright. I was looking up improvements to my build, since we're about to unlock the Gate of the Gods in just this boss and 2 others. I looked through them. There were a couple that stood out to me, but the one that I think is going to be most useful for this build is going to be a Neltha. I don't know if it's intended, but with Direwolves, the Necromancer has a base chance of 70% damage reduction and also 70% chance to revive. With Aneltha's ability is to add 3 turns to your turn counter. Speaking of turn counter, I believe there's a way to toggle the turn counter if the person in the Discord was telling the truth. Let's see. Just one moment when we get another turn, if we're allowed one. So Aneltha's ability. Yeah, you can do it like that. So if you hold F on the keyboard, you can see your stacks, your turn counter, a lot of useful information. I think, oh, you can also toggle turbo mode through that toggle menu. I feel like that's something that probably should have been mentioned during the main story. It's a very useful feature. But anyway, Aneltha increases at the start of each turn, or maybe at the end of it. It increases their turn counter by 3. So, both of our Apocalypse abilities that trigger off... Are they all invisible? No, not all of them. Something is giving them a lot of buffs, but they're not doing very much, they're not posing much of a threat to us. We have a lot of uptime on our units. I keep getting sidetracked, but Aneltha, the turn counter by 3, which will enable our Apocalypse abilities, which give us a buff for every turn that we take. But in addition, creatures act as if they have 3 more buffs, debuffs, and minions than they actually have. So because we're Necromancer, each minion that we have, and we're already at 77 minions, 70%, that would bring us up to 100% damage reduction and 100% chance to revive. So I'm really interested to see how that works, if it's actually 100% damage reduction, because I really doubt it would be. But I think that it would be very strong. What would I get rid of? Well, if you look at my build in the description of this YouTube video, it would probably be the Rivaling trait. We don't need the buffs as much as we need that Aneltha trait. And we already start with Rivalings as the Necromancer, so the starting with Rivalings is not as relevant as it might be if we were like a Purgatorian or such. This is a long fight. Thankfully, as we take turns, we'll be getting stronger. We're already up to a decent amount of turns taken. And you know I had to go to this realm. Just, it's my favorite realm music. Arachnid Nest. Very long fight. Possibly due to an enemy's traits that I did not look at. I'm a little careless, a little overconfident maybe. But if you've been following the series, each time I've uploaded a Nether boss, it's been the first time we've ever encountered each Nether boss. And I've never lost to a Nether boss with this build. Like, it wasn't always this strong. We've made a lot of changes to the build. But still, we've managed to stay alive this whole time. Not on difficulty 9 the whole way, of course. But on difficulty 9 for as long as it seemed prudent. And they did heal. We do not have that heal removal like we used to. Or the blighted. It's no problem at all. I haven't been counting, of course, but I'm sure we've got a decent amount of resurrections left on each unit. What else has been going on? I don't think I'll be playing Siralim on Friday. Maybe if I go for long enough, but I'm definitely gonna have all the Nether bosses done, at least the tier 1s by Sunday. We'll probably do a lot of Gate of the Gods farming that day. I want to get all the Gate of the Gods to at least difficulty 10, so we can get the Necromancer Ascension. Once that is done, I think it would be fun to push the difficulty as far as I could go. Of course, he has one debuff and it's scorned. Apparently, Gate of the Gods difficulty scales up infinitely. So I want to see how far we can push it. There are 30 gods, and you have to fight each difficulty once before you fight the next difficulty. So it is going to be a very time-consuming endeavor. I'm not going to be making nearly as much progress realm depth-wise if we do that. We killed one. We've taken a lot of turns. Our Terror White especially has taken 10 turns. Which means he would be doing 400% more damage and have, in addition to all the stats he gained from our Reclusive White, he would have 150% more stats. Okay, our Reclusive Whites, his turn counter is red. I don't know if that just means he's dead. Yeah, it just means that they're dead. Okay, we're good. I thought it meant maybe there was an indicator for resurrection limits. They suddenly stopped letting us take turns. Maybe there was something scaling that I didn't take into account. That would be pretty unfortunate, but either way, we wouldn't have had much choice in what we could do about it anyway. All of our units have an ethereal resurrection cast, at the very least. They're not letting us take any more turns. I haven't been holding down the button at all. I don't like when they resurrect, they lose all the HP that they gained. It's supposed to come right back, but I think that's only if they get a chance to bring their HP back up. This could be a loss, and I'm gonna be I am very disappointed. Well, that was the first time we've ever lost. Nether Boss 33 took us down. If I had been paying attention, if I hadn't been so cocky, maybe I would be able to explain why we lost, but maybe next time we'll take a look at everything more carefully. Anyway, I will be right back, and I will try that again. Probably just difficulty 9, no instability, so be right back. Okay, we are back. This is still Nether Boss 2, Realm Depth 230, Nether Boss 3. I don't know why I said it like that, but this is Kraynaks again. Good start. I chose a different realm. I thought they would be a little bit more tankier here, rather than offensively based. Because last time in the fight, the boss's main ability didn't even trigger. His ability doesn't trigger until we kill him once. So it wasn't the boss that killed us, it was its ads. We're doing good damage this time, actually. Well, we'll see. It'll take a while for us to start doing real damage. I don't know why he took so much just to start off with. Yeah, let's hope we win this time. My confidence is shattered. But we're so close to the Gate of the Gods. And I really don't want to... I'd want to be able to say that I beat the last few on difficulty 9, you know. We've done a bunch already. Maybe 8. But we can't go back down after we've already gone to the top, you know. This is difficulty 9. I will look at his level. It should be difficulty 9. Inspect, level 168, 100,000, or however you say that. So this is difficulty 9. Our units are only like maybe level 800. We should definitely kill the boss last. I was thinking, I might have said earlier in another video that we don't have a way to heal, but I forgot that Apocalypse, we just killed the boss. It's supposed to come back. It came back as the Assign, the Dusk Assign, which means that its ability is every time something resurrects, it comes back with 100% more HP than it had, basically. But because they don't have any latent resurrection triggers, that is not an issue at all. It might copy the stats of our unit, does it? No, it gets its own stats, of course. But this fight's already going a lot better. We just turned, the only difference is we're in a different realm, and we don't have any instability at all. So, difficulty 9, instability 0, in Eternity's End. It is quite sad to say that we didn't get a flawless with this build. A flawless on all 35 Nether Bosses, but 32 out of 33 is not bad at all, and we will see how the next two go. 2 more after this one. Although, I think we killed that Watcher and it came back, so they might have something that's resurrecting them. Possibly. Sorry, nothing, no, just beating the boss, you know. I almost forgot I was playing, live for a second. This music's easy to get lost in. What else has been going on with Siralim? Not much. Since our build's mostly completed, I haven't done much with it, and I only stream on the weekends. I pop into the Discord every once in a while and see what people are talking about. There's also the new update that released yesterday. There wasn't much changes to my build. I think I went over them in the last few Nether Bosses, at least, if there were. There were some buffs to some classes, some specializations that I don't play. Yeah, but if you know anybody who's like into games and think this game would be up their alley, I hope you mention it to them, because it's always good to have more people in the community to workshop different things and, you know, have more knowledge of all the different mechanics and interactions. On another side, it also, you know, might create more viewership for me. So I'm not saying it would be the worst thing for me. But I do really love the game. It's basically everything I ever wanted out of like Dragon Quest monsters, and more. Our Dark Sulker trait doesn't do much at the moment. I think we really need to get our relic up to level 100 before he's actually able to survive long enough to actually utilize his trait. We're almost done with this fight. Good stuff. I don't know if I'll be fighting another boss in the Arachnid Nest, but I'll always go back there for the music. Easy peasy. This is how the fight should have gone. Does he come back every time? Is there a cooldown on your trait? Inspect. After this creature is killed, it transforms into one of your creatures. Does that mean we have to kill it 10 times? Is there a cooldown period? Can he use it after a certain amount of turns? Or is he going to turn into each one of our monsters once before he stops coming back? How does this ability work? It's not explained very well. if you read it the first time, you'd just expect it worked once. But I guess if you took it literally, you would see that if you took it literally, it would mean they would come back forever. And because things technically aren't allowed to go forever in this game, it would be 10 times. So we might have to kill this monster 10 times. This is going to be a long video, by the way. Maybe, because I'm trying to do the last 6 Nether Bosses, I believe we had, all in one video, and it's even longer because we lost one battle. I was like, alright, let's get down, let's get this done, let's get these last 3 Nether Bosses, and now I'm tired. I'm like, oof, that took it out of me. So he came back as the Dust Goss sign, now he's the Scourge Goss sign. Let's see what he comes back as now. Came back as Dark Sulker. So he's got extra stats. This is bad, by the way. Let's look at it. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but he's got a lot of stats. His ability... Oh, he doesn't have the ability of the unit that he turns into. That was like the whole thing that I was expecting. He would turn into my unit and then have that unit's trait, but he doesn't seem to have that trait. Otherwise, he would have 50% of all his allies, dead allies' stats. It might still be working like that. It's just very unclear. So just be prepared when you enter this fight. Either have a way to stop resurrections, or just be prepared for a long fight. Okay, he's dead. We did it. Okay, I will see you in the next Nether Boss, alright? Have a good one. Okay, welcome back, gamers. This is Realm Depth 235. This is Cyhra. Okay. Hold on. So this boss is not able to be damaged until you kill all of its allies. Don't mind that, by the way. We definitely won't have an issue with this boss. This boss seems like one where you could easily, well, maybe not easily, but you could go up to difficulty. Sorry, let my cat out. She doesn't like to be in here while I'm recording. Okay, sorry about that. Attack. And first, inspect. Dark Clarity, this creature can only take damage, lose stats, or be afflicted with debuffs while its allies are all dead. 52 million HP, at least 1 million of all the other stats. So, this is kind of a spicy realm to be fighting them in, if only because all the enemies that are with it are tanky. Meaning that the fight will go on for a very long time. I got so unlucky trying to get to this Nether Boss, I fought pretty much every encounter in this realm before I found the portal. But, as I was saying, this boss seems like probably a good one if you want a challenge to raise the instability up to 5, so that there's more danger from its allies. Or even from the boss itself, because purely defensive trait does nothing, essentially, even if we lose all our units once or twice. I think I do have to report this bug where, oh, that's unfortunate, our Terror White turned into the, what is it? Well, it changed sprites, so it must have changed talents as well. It's just a random chance from random spell casts that we cast when we resurrect. What I was saying, I do think we have to report that bug, where if you resurrect, sometimes your HP doesn't always come back to full. Like it doesn't keep the HP that you've gained throughout the fight and reset you back down to your base amount when you resurrect. At least for a moment. Sometimes it takes a moment and then it goes to the higher value. But that's a big reason I feel as why we lost that fight earlier in this video. I've probably been in this realm for already 30 minutes, just trying to get to the boss portal on it, actually. I've been grinding Titan's Wound. I wanted Assign Mastery because we have 2 assigns. Yeah, the next thing would probably be White Mastery, but that's not as crucial because we don't want our Reclusive White to not take damage because we want them to die. Another team wipe. No problem though. I believe how it works is if the Reclusive White dies at the exact same time as other units, it will still trigger the resurrection that is on the Reclusive White's death. That's definitely what it seems like, at least. Titan's Wound also has the Fletcher enemy. You can summon them from the giant pillars of crazy looking monster thing. Fletchers give a great card bonus when you get enough. There's it gives you like a 5% higher chance to dodge. And then that's just the first tier. The bonus gets better as it goes on. Can't recall at the moment though. Okay, the enemies are all dead except for the boss, so now it's time to start doing damage to that 52 million HP. I try to stay mostly on topic during these videos. It's hard to talk about the game the whole time, just as I probably have at least 10 videos, maybe 15. And I've been trying to talk about the game mostly the whole time. During stream, I tend to go off topic just to fill the time. But if you haven't noticed, I do like to maintain... There's a little bit of dead air in the last Nether boss, but I do like to maintain a constant flow of conversation just so that, if you're listening to the stream, you can have it on you can even have it on in the background if you're not watching intently. I should really look at the buff list to see if losing that writhing trait is worth it or not. There's some good buffs out there. I think we could manage without The only one I really know is like Rebirth. That's very good for us. Maybe the defensive trait buff. All of our traits mostly are very good. We all have got a use case. You gotta love the music, man. Let's see. There's one more boss after this one. This one's in the bag. After this boss, we've only got one more Nether boss. It's very exciting. I felt like I was stuck on this portion of the game for a long time. A lot longer than other content creators. Just because I've been trying to get the most value out of these Nether bosses, at least in the videos, in the documentation of them. But there's that's Nether boss 34. I will see you at the next one. So have a good one. See ya. Okay, it's the start of a new day. We are here at the final Nether boss 35. This is Inner Darkness. We are fighting them in the Unsullied Meadows, just as we actually wiped to a random encounter in the Path of the Damned, so I did not want to go there, and I just wanted to go somewhere where we would have a good chance. Inner Darkness, so at least the skull, his ability, Shadows Converge. After your creatures take damage during their turn, this creature deals the same amount of damage to a random enemy. This creature's attacks deal 75% more damage. Like with Feared. Feared is actually the very worst debuff that we could get because it stops stat gain. We have like a way around it, but it's our main power. At the start of the enemy's turn, they have a 20% chance to be sent to the bottom of the timeline. If they're feared, enemies with fear deal 60% less damage. 3 random enemies are afflicted with feared. After enemies with feared are prevented from gaining stats, this creature gains those stats instead. Okay. This guy hard counters us. We do have one ability that saves us, though. I think it's on the Manticore. No, it's on the Ossign. At the start of this creature's turn, it removes 2 debuffs from your other creatures. So this is probably the only thing that will save us. But in addition, we also have Greater Dispel ethereally on all of our creatures, and then also just as regular spell on our sorcery creatures. So I will cast this because we need to get rid of those debuffs. I mean, I don't mind using our early turns to cast Dispel. We're really just waiting for us to scale up. Either cast Dispel or Resurrection. We lost our HP. No, we lost our ability to cast random spells at the end of when we resurrect. Let's see what that Ossign does now. One of our random spells cast was Evolution, which caused our unit to change sprites. We don't seem to be doing too well, and we wiped. Okay. So because this guy hard counters us, I'm not gonna come back with a whole brand new build. I am gonna lower the difficulty. Like, there's no way around it. The boss just hard counters us. Plus, they're doing a ton of damage. So we have to... I'll be back. I will just lower the difficulty. Okay. See you in a second. Okay. Welcome back. We turned it down to difficulty 5. The reason I do not want to change my build is because we're so close. This is the last boss before unlocking the Gate of the Gods, and probably the second final piece of our puzzle is going to be an alpha, and that's going to increase our strength by a ton. So all we need is that. And yeah, we are going to dispel these buffs for this early part of the fight. Just to be safe, because a hard counter is still a hard counter even on a difficulty where the levels... These guys have they have 10 times less levels than they did on difficulty 9. So as you can see, we're doing damage right off the start. Not feared, so attack. So we've died. This build has died 3 times ever since we switched to difficulty 9. We had no trouble up until that point, really. Ever since we beat the main story. About 3 times we've lost all of our units and lost all of our fortune. 2 times in random encounters, and you saw the 3rd time. Oh, wait. Oh, so it's 4 times now. So 2 to Nether Bosses and twice to random encounters. Unfortunate, but at least we know that it's possible to defeat bosses at difficulty 9 with this build. I don't know how many we've done. I think I did 5 in the last video and then 5 in this video. Yeah, this boss is no joke. Might have to think of a way to round out my team. The way I was doing it though, I do have that debuff remover and I do have the Elixir Apocalypse, which increases our damage even if it doesn't increase our stats. Those were kind of my 2 fail-safes along with the dispels on our sorcerer units. And no matter what, we always have our resurrection triggers. So that should be survivability and offense taken care of. It might not be enough though for difficulty 9. I'm so ready to start grinding realm depth at difficulty 0. And fighting all the Nether Bosses from this point on difficulty 0, maybe turn it up for tier 3s, but not for the tier 2s. Yeah, I've been progressing so much slower than everybody else just because I've been, squeezing the juice out of these Nether Bosses. But yeah, difficulty 5's no problem at all. I think, yeah, we'll go back to the base and I will show you the Gate of the Gods and all that. Perhaps not in this video, because this is already going to be a very long video. So if you want to come see what the Gate of the Gods is going to look like, at least to me, I hope you come back and watch some more. This has been a long video. We usually only do 4. I think there's 6 in this video, plus we wiped twice. Actually 3 times. 1 off camera. So that is Nether Boss 35. Everybody, thank you so much for making it this far. I will be back with more post-game content. For now, everybody have a good one. Thank you.